Okay, now what we're going to do is called a network adjustment or a network entrainment or entrainment. If we were to take 10 grandfather clocks and bring them in the room and they were all ticking and talking at a different tick-tock rate, within minutes they would start following each other's rhythm or entraining to each other's rhythm, and within minutes all be ticking and talking at the same height, timing, and frequency. It's likened, the network entrainment or entrainment, also to when the nene bird or geese fly in formation, they're entraining to each other's wing formation. And that's how they fly up in the V and come down in a V. Similarly with sardines, they'll entrain to each other's gill formation. And that's how they pull or spiral together. We work in the network entrainment room with a number of tables all around the world for the entrainment factor. If people have developed the healing waves prior, they're going to take someone brand new faster, and the faster you go through the levels of care as we described, the more you're going to benefit, and the faster you're going to enjoy all the many benefits of network spinal analysis care. There's two healing waves that develop. One is called a somatorespiratory wave, and that is a breath that goes from the tip of the coccyx all the way to occiput. As the breath comes through the spine, your higher brain is going to be able to locate, through feeling the breath, where it stops or where it gets blocked. And with that, you're able to release the tension through the breath. So it's like a positive feedback loop. You'll find the tension, breathe through it, till eventually we see the respiratory wave and the movement of the spine go from the tip of the coccyx all the way to occiput. The somatorespiratory wave is generally developed in the first level of care, and anywhere, anytime, you're going to be able to take that nice deep breath, rock this vertebrae through its range of motion, and take your whole system down a few notches in tension. It's kind of like dropping a pebble in a pond of peace throughout the whole system. So our goal is to get that breath from C to shining C. So with each contact we make, we have a specific goal in mind. And with a level 1 contact, our goal is to produce the somatorespiratory wave, which I'm going to do at this point. Okay. And now you'll see the opening of the breath. And with her first breath, we started to see the breath between here and here. And in the beginning, you may just have a little tiny bit of breath. Usually people will come in and they're so locked up and overwhelmed by stress in their life, we don't see any visual breath. As we make each contact and as she becomes more aware of the tension, she's going to be able to get that breath all the way to the top. Notice with this last breath, she was able to get it from here to here. And let's see with this next breath, if she can get it all the way to the top. Notice that that breath came to about here, and we want to see it coming all the way to the top so the occiput rocks through its range of motion. That's the goal. Beautiful. And notice as she breathed that time, this started to rock, and there was almost like a little sigh. That is emotion releasing, energy in motion. Anytime the body goes from high tension to low tension, energy in the form of emotion, energy in motion is released. It can be sighing, moaning, groaning. It doesn't have to be a huge catharsis. It's just that opening of the breath, and that sighing is a big release. And we started with a left short leg of about 3/4 of an inch, and just with those two gentle contacts, we see the evening of the legs, and also much less tension down at the Achilles tendon where we were measuring the spinal cord tension. The second wave is called a somato-psychic or body mind wave, or the network wave. And this is where we get the coining of the entrainment concept. So I'm going to make a contact down here, and the sacrum or the tailbone is like a remote control for the rest of the spine. If I make contacts more in the middle, it affects the neck. If I make contacts more laterally, it affects the sacrum. So in this case, my analysis shows me that I want to affect this vertebrae here, but I want to see if we can get a communication or the wave to move through the spine that as it moves through the spine takes with it the chronic tension patterns through the spine and releases the chronic fight or flight in the system. So I'm going to have you just lift up in here. And lifting. And you notice even more breath, more emotion releasing as she moves, and you notice the movement right where I made the contact, kind of spiraling through here and starting to move in here. As she advances, by the end of level 2, we're going to see this vertebrae that I worked on and this vertebrae moving in synchronicity, syncing up, and this wave cannot be faked, it is learned. And as we see that syncing up, your ability to adapt to stress is heightened amazingly. So now we're going to do more advanced level 2 and see if we can start to get the syncing up of the two ends of the spine. And now you see this spiraling and this spiraling. Now if I were to stop her at this point, it stops at the top. And if I were to move her bigger, it goes bigger at the top. So there is a communication between the two ends, which helps you to become adaptable. If you're getting, a baseball being thrown at you and it's about to hit your head, instead of like not being able to get out of the way, you're able to move and adapt to physical, chemical, and emotional stresses by that wave. Having that ability and that flexibility and communication in the nervous system, plus you're able to release those chronic tension patterns. Now, as we move into level 3, we want to bring that wave through the heart and entrain the heart rhythm with the spines. And so now what you're going to see is that you're going to see the wave moving through the heart plus the spine, and those rhythms as we move through the 3rd level advanced awakened care will actually start to entrain. And we see that immediately. We see the movement down at the sacrum where we made the contact. We see C2, and we see this whole chest area. And as the wave is focused through that area, it breaks down the barriers between you and your own heart, others' heart, and the divine heart. Thank you.